Hello, everyone. My case study is going to be on Robert Allen Stanford. My name is Cassandra Garcia. Okay, here we go. Okay, so his crime was that he orchestrated a $7 billion investment fraud over the course of 20 years. So technically 2 decades. This Ponzi scheme was pretty huge. I think it was second in the nation. Not, I don't think it's nation, but it was a pretty big, kind of below Madoff. Yeah, so it was pretty big. A little background information on him. He was born in southern Texas. To be precise, it's Mahia, Texas, in 1950. His dad owned a small insurance office, and his mother wrote for the local paper. Uh, After a while, his parents got divorced, and he went with his mom. He and his brother went with his mom. Uh, As far as his higher education, he went to Baylor University and got a bachelor's in finance. After he graduated, he wasted no time. He wanted to get right on it and earn his money. So he got married and he began his pursuit for business. He went into a few jobs before he eventually opened up a health club called Total Fitness, and it had everything. It was really popular. He opened it in Waco, Texas. Um, he also worked out there, and every time that he would work out, he would drop the weights, and that was his number one rule: don't drop the weights. Um, so basically, he liked all the attention, um, and I think it's a pattern for individuals who go and do these types of schemes. This is him. Later I will go on to discuss other photos in there. Okay. Okay, now moving on to his first bank, his creation of his bank. Um, he made his bank after a while because his health club was went downhill due to a financial crisis, the oil crisis. And so he filed for a class 11. So, yeah, he was in some pretty big debt, 13 million. His first bank was called the Guardian Bank, and he opened it in the island of Montserrat. It's an island that is mostly known. If you were there, you were known to possibly be having some sort of fraud scheme. After a while, he moved to Antigua, and um, that's where Stanford International Bank was placed. And it's the same thing as Montserrat. There was a bunch of corruption there. Eventually, what his CFO became his college roommate, James Davis. Um, a lot of people were drawn to his bank because of the interest rate. It was 2 points more than any others. The reason when they were asked why the point was like that is because they said that there was no tax in Antigua, um, so that they had that opportunity to give them more. After a while, he decided to um, get the introduction of the certificate of deposits, which that's where he got all his money from the customers that apply for his bank. Um, but lo and behold, they were fake. After a while, investigations were starting to open around Montserrat because there was rumors of drug trafficking money coming into the banks, and that's where they were storing their money. Um, the Stanford was one of the biggest banks there. He liked the fancy stuff, so for him to get around, he had his helicopters, his private planes, and so on and so forth. He was also a big endorser for the cricket game. Here you can see that they won an award or a tournament. And there was a game that um, they're going to play against someone, and this was the prize money that was displayed in a glass case um, for the winning team. Stanford International Bank got so big that it was placed in many areas of the country and expanded to Peru, Ecuador, and other places. Once the SEC got involved, everything was downhill from there because investigation was not stopped. Investigation continued for quite some time. His trial was a 6-week trial, and these were his convictions. So he was sentenced to 110 years in prison. He was charged with 13 out of 14 counts of fraud. These are the types of counts that he was um, charged with. So conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, 4 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of mail fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission investigation, and 1 count to obstruct the SEC. Um, it was a pretty lengthy case. Employees knew about it, but once they knew about it and they confronted, they were either fired or they were scared for their life because with money, it goes downhill. Okay, you guys, that was it.